Hello, friends. This is Gris Alves, and we're about to go live here as I record this week's podcast on good versus badass. So let's see. What do you like? You like to be good or you like to be a badass? I have some thoughts on this. So let's start. And welcome to Tales of Recovery. My name is Gris Alves. I am your host. What do you prefer? Do you want to be good or do you want to be a badass? Not good at something in general. You want to be a good girl or you want to be a badass? Growing up, I was told that you have to be good. You have to be a good girl. You have to behave. You have to look a specific way. And I've been thinking about how this has maybe created obstacles into living a freer life since early on. Because what does it mean to be a good girl, right? What do people tell you? So, for example, I think, okay, being a good girl or a good boy, whatever, it's like sit up straight and be polite. And as a good girl, you have to make sure your legs are always closed when you're sitting and that you're all done up and never look all, haggard, and that you be very polite. Don't be loud, right? Don't ride in the back of motorcycles with boys because good girls don't do that. Don't smoke outside when you're a kid and you're experimenting because good girls don't do that. I mean, we know that's unhealthy, but I'm talking about like 25 years ago when we weren't so conscious about that. Don't dress up too sexy because then, you're going to get in trouble. And be perfect. Basically, being a good girl, the message is you have to be perfect. In whose eyes, like to whose standards? But this is kind of what it means, or what it meant to me. Looking back is what I've seen is like when you're trying to be good and you're trying to perform and you're trying to do these things that are just completely freaking impossible, when there's like no grace to mess up or to have somebody tell you since you're young, hey, you know what, you're human and you're totally going to be messed up and do different things that are not going to fit into these standards that people are giving you. Because when you are just taught to be good, this causes you to bury your needs, right? It causes you to self as well under other people's needs. Because you're trying to be good for your mom and dad, you're trying to be good for the teacher at school, you're trying to be good so you get, so you get teacher's pet, you're trying to perform, you're trying to earn this goodness. And sometimes I think, the downright effect of being good, man, stay quiet. Don't ask for your needs. Live a life to please others. And it's too much pressure. And so what happened to me is, around, whatever, 13, 14, I just thought it was so much more exciting to not be a good girl. It was more adrenaline. It was more fun. I felt more alive. So yeah, man, let's hop on the motorcycle and ride around with this guy that I knew. But, make sure that you go down the street where your mom's not going to see you or anybody else for that matter, because then, Lord have mercy, you'd be getting in trouble for not being a good girl. And some of the friends that I was hanging out with were artists and rockers and super smart, progressive thinkers, but they were not the good boys or the good people to hang out with. And so here I am having this amazing live conversations, creating music, 18, 19, 19, 20, 25, 20, all these times just having so much different, really cool experiences. But the whole time in my mind, I'm thinking, this is bad. This is bad. I shouldn't be doing this. This is bad. I should be, just regular, maybe going to medical school or medicine school or, school of medicine, whatever. See, I'm being judgmental now because I didn't say that good the first time. But fuck that, because this is Tales of Recovery and we are recovering from all that bullshit, right? Because I think it would have been better if since I was young, my parents would have told me, you're a little badass and that's awesome. And you can do whatever you want. Of course, we have to be polite and we have to be considerate that we're in community and that we're not alone. But this is not what this podcast is about. You guys get it, right? This is what it's about. Messages that press you down. And so what happened to me is I was all, the rebel and doing this and that. And finally, okay, well, so much pain, so much craziness. Of course, I end up drinking way too much because many, many reasons, but I'm sure one of them was the pressure of not being enough and not being allowed to feel certain things and having to stay quiet because of this being good thing. You can't say this hurts, this sucks, I'm mad at this, I don't agree with this bullshit, I don't want to wear this skirt, I don't want to wear this stuff, I don't want to have my hair done, I don't want to do this stupid debutante ball. Because, by the way, my parents made me do this really stupid 15-year-old debutante ball when I was in, I guess it was high school. And it was this debutante ball that I didn't really want to do it, but my parents thought it was a good idea. And you got a dress, and you went down, you had this mass with a bunch of other girls from TJ, and they were having so much fun getting all dressed up and doing this ball of like a sweet 16 kind of thing. It wasn't a quinceañera, but something similar to that. And oh my God, the entire time I felt like a robot thinking, why am I here? But I guess this is a good thing to do, right? This is a good thing. Wear your dress, do your hair, smile for the camera, and pretend you're having a good time. Even though I really just wanted to go to the back and drink a martini and escape with my other punk rock friends because this was so uncomfortable. And I think my parents agreed that it was uncomfortable because they didn't make my sister do that below me. But, or my other cousin. But anyway, I had to do this stupid good thing. And the intentions are there, whatever, but I really think we need to offer our kids more choices. Do you really want to do that or not? Yes, I want to. Fine, I'll help you. No, I don't really want to. All right, let's move on to something else. And I was like, okay, my parents would set me up with these guys when I was around, 22, 23 years old because, oh, now you need to go find a nice young man to marry you off and be a good wife or be a good person. And I was like, marriage? Are you kidding me? I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to have kids. I'm going to live until around I'm 30, and then I'm going to overdose, and that's it, because that's too long. These are my thoughts in my years, my early 20s. And when I finally got into recovery around 25 years old, I'd been down and playing with all these bands and doing the things I need to do, and it just wasn't working out. So I thought, well, maybe if I stop drinking and I can get my shit together. And it was exactly like that. I got into recovery and I realized all these people that are badasses are sitting here sober talking about how they're stopped, drinking and using drugs, and they're getting their life together, and they're super deep and funny and awesome. And I was just like, yeah, I'm a badass with these people. I'm going to overcome this stupid addiction. And I did, and I went to meetings and we did tons of internal work and tons of discovery about emotions that I hadn't been able to feel. And, life got better, right? Life got better. And as years went by and I found, my husband, my boyfriend decided we should get married. I thought, well, I guess we're going to get married. Yes, we're going to get married because then it'll be good. And when you have a wedding, you're good. And my parents were way more excited than I was. I just would have just said, let's get married and go on a trip. But they wanted to have this big wedding. And I didn't do anything for the wedding at all. My mom and my sister literally planned the whole thing. I just said, don't make it white. Have a ton of colorful stuff. And they did. And it was a beautiful wedding. It was a lot of fun. My band was there and we sang a song and everybody cried, and it was pretty surreal. But why was it surreal? I'll tell you why it was surreal. Because I was 27 years old, and my whole life I thought only good girls get married, right? I don't even know. I mean, I doubt any good girls get married. Everybody just gets married. Who's good? What's that? But this was my mind, the thought frame. And so after I don't know how many years, I just figured, okay, well, I guess since we're married, now it's good, right? Now it's good. But I still felt the same, whatever. I still always felt like, I was a witch. I was this cool Griselda chick. But let's do the right thing. Okay, let's be good. So we did the wedding, blah, blah, blah. And then life goes on, and we started moving around to the United States, and I had a baby. And so here we go. Let's go to church. And you guys have been following around. You know my story. We end up at this really fun church. And here I am thinking, why did I go to this church? Because if you've been following me, clearly you've heard that I left the church. I really got fired, but I had to step down from the board of elders because I told them that I thought they were fundamentalists. And I think to myself, why did I even go there after having so much freedom and recovery and meditation and so much fun? You know why? You know why? Because I thought it was good. I assumed, okay, now we're married. Now we have a baby. Now we're in this church. Okay, now we're good. So my subconscious training as a young girl about having to be good popped out again and just took over and thought, this is good, right? Good girls go to church with their kids and their husbands. And now everything's beautiful again. And here I go, trying to be good, doing so many cool things, right? I mean, it's not all bad. Of course, there's good stuff that happens, but there was never that freedom. And there was a long ass time that I stayed at this church and did a lot of, research and reading and Bible study and blah, blah, blah. But of course, you're having fun, you're meeting people. People are the coolest thing. No matter where you're at, people are the coolest thing. Whether you're out in addiction or in recovery or at church or work, whatever, the best thing we have, honestly, is human connection. And I'm very good at human connection. I've always had a lot of friends. I love talking to people and listening to people. And so that part was cool. But, my badass chick kept wanting to come out. But at church, you can't really be a badass. I mean, some of the church ladies thought it was funny that I would say the word fuck here and there at the studies. Oh, Gris, please. But you get my rift here. I was trying to come out and I really couldn't because I was trained. You're trained to be good, a good girl. And so here we are now, so many years later, and I'm stepping into a little bit of more freedom about being able to talk. Yes, I'm an ex-evangelist. I'm a recovering Catholic. I'm a recovering alcoholic, or not really, more of a druggie. I'm a recovering ex-evangelist. Evangelist? Is that what you say? How you say it? And it's really fun to notice now that I am beginning to not really give a shit what people think, because I am aware of this subconscious programming that does me no good. Oops, there's that word. But we are going to now embrace being a badass, embrace being a strong, powerful woman, which I always was, but without this mask of pretending that you're kind of a badass, but you're good badass, right? You're not going to go to jail. You're not going to do this. Well, I might have. I mean, I volunteer at the prison. I've been working in the prisons for many, many years now as a public defender investigator, but I'm now going in doing yoga with a prison yoga project. And it's this body-informed trauma that we do at the reentry facility here in Las Colinas. And it's fascinating. It's so beautiful and so cool to be able to walk in there and do, practice yoga with these awesome women that are kind of like recovering, right? Recovering their life because they're trying to re-enter society after being incarcerated for whatever either not so good choice that they made or circumstance they found themselves in. Maybe they had the subconscious thing about being good and they couldn't, right? Maybe they're part of this bullshit too. And one of my friends that I was talking to at a party said, well, I can't believe you go into that jail because it's so dangerous. She was a psychologist in a jail. And I said, they're just humans. Just because now they're in there, now they're not good. You are more than the worst thing you've ever done. That's just the way it is. And being a badass is a good thing. What do you choose, right? Because I'm going to be a badass from now on. I'm going to follow the law. I'm not going to break any laws. Don't worry. I will respect everybody else. I'm a conscientious person. I'm going to be a beneficial presence to this world and take care of the planet, take care of my family, take care of myself, take care of others. But owning my power and owning that subconscious programming from who knows who, church people, teachers, whatever, has not served me. The only thing it's served me for is to grow the strength inside of me, like a seed that's coming out of the earth to grow into a huge plant. That's how it served me. It's given me power and energy to just burst through and be able to do this and inspire others to do the same. So if you're struggling with, I can't say this, I can't say that, I have to believe this, I have to tell them that, because otherwise I won't be good, otherwise I won't be accepted. Because that's what happens when you're just trying to be good, is for an acceptance, it's for a belonging, whether or not you feel like it's right or it doesn't feel good. Your intuition is telling you this is bullshit, but well, it won't be good. I won't be good if I don't do it. Listen, screw that, man. Honestly, I mean, it's time to wake up and know, because I think we've known this all along, but the programming of being good has fucked it all up. And so now we know, and there's work to be done because it's not that simple, but it's a great revolution to be a part of, right? It's a warranted rebellion, and it's good to be a badass. Ha! We are now using both words, and yeah, so that's it. It's once I became okay with being a badass. Here's some of the parts in my life where I've been a badass, right? So in high school, I didn't really make the good girl list there, but I was a badass, and it was fun, and I had so many friends, and we had amazing discussions about religion and society and cultures and books, or we'd go to a play and then discuss the theater. And I was not in the little good girls group, but damn, we had so much fun. And, as time went by through college and doing all the music, I was never the good girl, and we had a blast. I was in this marketing college, and, I remember we had to do I was in advertising. I have a bachelor degree in advertising arts. And one of the homeworks or one of the projects was you had to create your own company, and you had to make an advertisement for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And so here I go, do my homework, and for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, there was 2 cars that crashed together at some image that I thought, and I just said, "Merry Crash Mass?" ? I said, this holiday season, make sure that you don't drink and drive. That was my one, I thought, a very powerful, impactful advertisement. And the other one was my own company was going to be called Too Much Is Just Right Productions. And my friend Andre, who's a phenomenal painter from Tijuana, he used to paint like Salvador Dali, I'm telling you. I asked him, hey, can you make a face like of this really cool guy, like super crazy, like going wild? And he did this super badass painting of this crazy dude, just kind of like his eyes were bugging out and big teeth, and he's coming at you. And my logo underneath said, Too Much Is Just Right Productions. And we were going to promote bands and music festivals. So I show up to class, very, very proud of my accomplishments. These were my advertisements to this like teacher who said, no, you cannot have those cars that says Crash Mass, because that's just an insult for Christianity. And no, that Too Much Is Just Right. No, you can't. And so she gave me, first of all, she didn't even accept the Crash Mass one. And the other one, I don't know, like she wouldn't accept the project. And I said, no, this is my project. Too Much Is Just Right is the name of my production company. And this is the ad I've created. And she wouldn't accept it, or she gave me a D. And thinking back, I should have fought harder. I should have gone on and said, listen, woman, this is a creative school. This is art school. This is something that I, came up with. And you're telling me no? I mean, it's not like it's for a job. And your conceptions about being a good girl don't really fit me. They don't fit me. And so many other stories of times where I just remember feeling like, damn, why is it so hard to be good and so boring? And, I'd see those ads that say, or those t-shirts that say, only bad women are remembered in history. I always thought it was cool, but it's also insulting. What do you mean only bad women? Freaking women are, why does it have to be a difference? Why do we have to have these standards of only being good? So anyway, I'm getting really pissed off here, but I'm also very relieved that I'm able to say this. So thanks for listening. Thanks for considering this thought, and, just think about it. Do you want to be good, or do you want to be a badass? Because honestly, you guys, deep down inside, everybody wants to be the fucking cool badass. For real. Everybody does. Even all my little polite church friends were always like, oh my gosh, those people over there partying, the sinners. But deep down, you're wondering, what does it feel like to be over there partying and doing some of these fun stuff? Not to the excess, whatever. Yes, it can get dangerous, but you get the point, right? Everybody wants to live and live to the fullest and live awakened and with consciousness, which is kind of where this freedom has taken me to. I'm just speaking this because I'm trying to make a point. And I hope it's helpful for anybody who's out there struggling to open up into their own badass self. And this is it for this Tales of Recovery. Think about that and maybe comment on here or send me a message. Do you want to be good? Do you want to be a badass? Do you want to take your soul back that you've given away? Because it feels really great, wonderful, and freeing. And here we are again at the end of Tales of Recovery. Thanks, you guys, for listening, and we will see you next time. That's it. That's it for Tales of Recovery. It's now here on the YouTube channel, Gris Alves Tales of Recovery. And make sure you like it, subscribe, tell me your comments, and be a badass, but an awakened badass, consciousness.